In the early days of basketball, using a ball screen became a way for the offense to score effectively. In the 80s and 90s, John Stockton helped popularize the ball screen by using it to create scoring opportunities for him and his teammate, Karl Malone. In today's game, more coaches than ever are using the ball screen as a key component for their offense. Learning how to use a ball screen is important because it provides passing options, it creates mismatches, it forces the defense to make adjustments, it's versatile, and the one that I will be covering in this video is it helps you score. There's only so many different ways to defend a ball screen. Once you understand these main ways to defend the ball screen, it's going to make it way easier to make decisions and score using a ball screen. We're going to start off with one of the easiest ways to score using a ball screen, and that is when the defender goes under the screen. If your defender goes under the screen, shoot the three. Because they went under the screen, their chances of getting a good contest or blocking the shot are significantly lower, so take advantage of this and shoot the three when they go under the screen. The next way that the defense can guard a ball screen is drop coverage. During drop coverage, the screener's defender is usually 6 to 10 feet behind the screen to prevent the ball handler from getting close to the basket. Anytime you use a ball screen, you want to go as tight as you can to the screen to make it harder for the defender who's being screened to fight over the screen. When the defense is in a drop coverage, their goal is to make the offense take a tough two. In a drop coverage, the screener's defender is typically slightly above or below the free throw line area. One of the best options that you can do if the defense is in a drop is shoot the three.
When you see a 5-man in drop coverage, are you saying to yourself, dead meat? Like, I've got an easy pull-up three?
Absolutely. If I'm coming off a screen and the big is back, I'm shooting it every time.
Another option that you have when the defense is in a drop is a mid-range pull-up. Like I said earlier, when the defense is in a drop, their main goal is to force the offense to shoot a tough two, but oftentimes the big gives enough space to where it's not even a tough two, it's just a normal two. And that happens often, so it's super important to be able to hit the mid-range pull-up after a ball screen. An additional way to score versus drop coverage is to finish against the drop defender. Taller defenders are often used for drop coverage, so when it comes to finishing against taller defenders in a drop coverage, some of the finishes that you can use are the high off the glass layup, the same hand, same foot layup, the veer step, the hook layup, and the floater. The floater is the one that I'll be covering in this video. The floater adds versatility to a player's offensive arsenal, providing them with another finishing option to keep the defender guessing. The floater is good when the defense is in a drop coverage because of its unpredictability and it's really hard to block. Snaking the ball screen and then pulling up for a mid-range jumper is another technique that you can use when the defense is in a drop coverage. When the ball handler snakes the screen, it makes it harder for the defender who's being screened to get around the screen. Snaking a ball screen can also help you get into open space away from the drop defender so you can get an easier pull-up. One thing that you can do to give yourself an advantage coming off a ball screen is to put your defender who just got screened in jail. By keeping the defender on your back, it helps prevent them from recovering, you can control the pace, and you have more time to make a decision. This video is about scoring using a ball screen. I'll touch on passing in another video, but putting your defender in jail gives you and the screener a 2-on-1 opportunity. So keep in mind that this could be a good time to pass to your teammate. When you have your defender in jail, you can use your off arm to feel out where the defender is, and that can help you prevent them from getting in front of you. Also, when he's in jail, make sure to keep your eyes up and survey the court. When you take your defender out of jail and you're ready to make a play, some options that you can do are shoot a jumper. Next option that you can use is going downhill and then shooting a floater. Another option that you can use is driving to the basket and then finishing. Last option I'm going to speak on for drop coverage is turning the corner. Remember how I said the drop defender is usually 6 to 10 feet behind the screen? Well, sometimes the drop defender steps up. If that's the case, it's a great option to turn the corner and then drive to the basket. Defenders who are in a drop coverage are typically slow and not quick, so if they step up, it's going to be easier to drive to the basket. Another thing that you could do when you see that the screener's defender steps up and is basically in a high drop coverage is do a change of direction move to get past him and then finish. Doing a quick change of direction move is also good when the help defense takes away that straight line drive after you come off the screen. The next way that the defense can defend a ball screen is by hedging. The hedge is used to slow down the player with the ball and prevent them from penetrating. When the team on offense sets a screen for the ball handler, the screener's defender will temporarily step out to block their path. This gives the person who got screened time to get through and go back to who he was guarding. The screener's defender is trying to pressure the ball handler without leaving their own assignment open. How you can score when the defense hedges is by attacking the hedger's outside hip. Attacking the hedge's hip gives you options. One option that you have is attacking the hedge's hip, driving, and then finishing at the basket. Another option that you have after attacking the hedge's hip is driving and then shooting a mid-range jumper. And if you're really feeling your three-point shot, you can attack the hedge's hip and then shoot the three-point jumper. I just went over the normal hedge. There's another way that the defense can hedge, and that's the hard hedge. When the defense hard hedges, the defender guarding the screener aggressively steps out high, preventing the ball handler from turning the corner and forcing them to retreat with their dribble. Once the threat is contained, the person who did the hard hedge is going to return to their initial assignment. One way that you can beat a hard hedge is by doing a quick retreat dribble and then going downhill. If the defense hard hedges, you can also do a quick retreat and then shoot a three. The quick retreat dribble helps you create space away from the hard hedger. Like the normal hedge, a way that you can beat the hard hedge is by attacking the hedger's outside hip. After attacking the hard hedger's hip, you have options. One option that you have is to drive and then finish. Another option that you have after attacking the hard hedger's hip is driving and then shooting a mid-range jumper. An additional option that you have after attacking the hard hedger's hip is shooting a three-pointer. Whether you do a retreat dribble versus the hard hedge or you attack the hard hedge's outside hip, using your off arm can help you protect the ball and prevent it from getting stolen. If the defense hedges and leaves a lot of space between him and the screen, one thing that you can do is split the screen. It doesn't matter if it's a hard hedge or normal hedge, if the screener's defender leaves a decent sized gap between him and the screen, you can split this gap and then drive. There's two main ways that ball handlers split a screen. The first one is the jolt dribble. The jolt dribble is where you stiffen out your arm and use your palm to dribble quick and low. A jolt dribble helps you drive through defenders and it's harder to steal. When reaching in, defenders reach high, so the jolt dribble is going to help you dribble below their arms. Another way to split the screen is to push the ball out. Make sure to cover a decent amount of space when you push the ball out. Also, push the ball away from the person who's hedging. If the help defense steps up after you split a screen, you can pass to an open teammate. Or you can just score on the help defense. Here are 3 moves that you can use to score on the help defense after splitting the screen.
When I'm splitting the pick and roll, I have a variety of options. The first option is the stop and pop. So I'm coming off right here, one hard dribble. The defender's helpless right here, and there's space in between him and me in the basket. And that's the first option. The second option is I'm coming off, I split the pick and roll. He steps up again. There's the Euro step. You step in between the defender's legs, and you create space by using your first leg, your pivot foot, and then stepping around him, and then reversing it. And the third option is the spin move. It's a dangerous move. I mean, it just depends on how the defender plays you. So if I have it in my left hand and he's shading me this way, then use the spin move, and it's a quick one. After you spin off him, you always want to shield him with your off hand. So I spin off him and keep him over here. That way, if he comes over your body, that's a foul, and it's an and one, automatic basket. The most important thing is your balance and your footwork.
Next way that the defense can defend a ball screen is by doing a blitz. We're going to go over how to score versus a blitz in a little bit, but if you're a hooper who wants to get better at basketball, I have something for you. And that is my online basketball university. If you want to take your game to the next level and you're tired of being average, this is for you. Most hoopers fail because they're not doing the right things and they don't have access to a mentor. So if you want access to that and something that's going to help you achieve the success that you want in basketball, click the link in the description to join my online basketball university. Alright, back to the blitz coverage. Blitz is when the screener's defender and the person who's being screened double team the ball handler aggressively. The safest and smartest option most of the time when this happens is to make a pass to an open teammate. Since they're double teaming one person, the chances that someone will be open is very high. Don't over dribble when the defense blitzes, as this could result in a turnover. One thing that you can do when the defense does a blitz coverage is retreat dribble to get away from the defenders and then pass to an open teammate. If you decide to dribble past the blitz, one technique that you can use is attacking the slower defender. When that slower defender is part of the double team, attacking his side is going to help you beat the double team. Many people confuse the hard hedge with the blitz. The hard hedge's goal is to stop the ball handler from turning the corner. The blitz's goal is to get the ball out of the ball handler's hand. With the hard hedge, the screener's defender goes back. With the blitz, they double team until they get the ball out of the ball handler's hand. When you're coming off that ball screen, the hard hedge and the blitz look identical at the start. In both of those coverages, the screener's defender is coming up aggressively. So when the screener's defender is coming up aggressively to blitz the screen, and he leaves a lot of space between him and the screen, you can split the screen. And basically, when you split the screen, you don't give the defense a chance to blitz. Don't force the split, make sure that you have enough space if you want to split the screen. If a ball screen's coming and you feel like they're going to double team you, aka blitz the screen because of previous ball screens earlier in the game or the scouting report, one thing that you can do is call off the screen.
You know, I could have an opportunity to go to hoop. I didn't want them to double team me, that's why I called the pick away. But
next way that the defense can defend a ball screen is by icing the screen. Icing the screen is when the on-ball defender prevents the ball handler from using the screen and forces him towards the sideline. The screener's defender is usually on the low side, located where the ball handler is forced. The goal when icing the screen is to not let the ball handler use the screen and to force him towards the sideline. Icing the screen is usually done when the screen is set on the wing. Here are some options that you can use to score when the defense ices the screen. Like I said earlier, when the on-ball defender is icing the screen, forcing the ball handler not to use the screener's defender is usually on the low side. The low side is where the ball handler is forced. But sometimes the screener's defender is late to the spot or isn't on the same terms with the person who's on ball icing the screen. So when the screener's defender isn't in the right position and you see that open lane, take advantage of that and drive. Another opportunity to score when the defense is icing the screen is when the on-ball defender is icing the screen, but the screener's defender is back in a drop coverage protecting the rim. When that happens, you can drive past the on-ball defender and then do a floater over the screener's defender who's in a drop. When the screener's defender is up, forcing the ball handler to the sideline baseline area, it's a good idea to pass to the screener. This can help you avoid getting trapped and getting a turnover. After passing to the screener, you can then get it back from a handoff and then go and score. An additional scenario when you can score on ice coverage is when the on-ball defender is icing the screen, but he's icing the screen too low. When that happens, you can use the screen normally and then make something happen from there. The last defensive ball screen coverage that I'll be covering is the switch. When the defense switches a ball screen, it means that the defenders involved in the ball screen switch their defensive assignment. A common tactic used to score when the defense switches the ball screen is to take advantage of the mismatch. If a slow defender switches onto you after you use the screen, you can use your speed and drive past him. Another way that you can score if the defense switches the ball screen is if a smaller defender switches onto you. If a smaller defender switches onto you, you can use your size or strength to score on them. One thing you can do when being guarded by the best defender or a really good defender is call over your teammate with the worst defender on them and have them set a ball screen for you. If the defender switched the screen, you'll then have the worst defender on you, so you can take advantage of that and then score. Another way that you can score when the defense switches a ball screen is as they're switching. If the defense guarding you switches the ball screen and they leave a lot of space when they're switching the ball screen, something that you can do is hide behind the screen and shoot a three. Now that I've shown you guys the main ways that the defense can defend a ball screen, and I've shown you guys ways to score versus how the defense is guarding the ball screen, I'm going to be talking about rejecting the screen. Rejecting the screen is when the ball handler doesn't use the screen. I'm going to go over the reads that you can use to know when to reject the screen. When a ball screen's being set and the on-ball defender turns his head to look at the screen, that's a great time to reject the screen. Another good time to reject the screen is when the on-ball defender's momentum is moving towards the screen. So use his momentum against him and reject the screen. Something that you can do to make it more believable that you're about to use the screen is turn your shoulders to the screen and look at the screen. After doing that, reject the screen and drive to the basket. An additional scenario when you can reject the screen is when the screen's on the wing and there's no strong side help. Because there's no strong side help, it's going to be easier to score. You could also reject the screen when the screener's defender is on the other side of the screen, away from the basket, before you use the screen. You don't know if the screener's defender is gonna hedge, blitz, switch, but because he's already on the other side of the screen, away from the basket, you might see an open lane. So you could reject the screen, drive, and then finish. But that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.